Ukraine on Saturday claimed it struck a Russian airbase which it describes as the home base of Moscow's advanced fighter jets. EU leaders renew backing for Moldova's EU membership ahead of a pivotal parliamentary election.
Friends, family, teammates and coaches of Liverpool star Diogo Jota and his brother gather in their hometown of Gondomar to pay their final respects at their funeral.
Ukraine on Saturday said it struck a Russian airbase while Russia continued to pound Ukraine with hundreds of drones overnight. Ukraine's military general staff described the struck airbase in Russia's Voronezh region as the home base of Russia's fighter jets, while Ukraine's Air Force said Russia fired 322 drones and decoys into Ukraine overnight into Saturday, around half of which Ukraine said were shot down. Ukraine's Air Force, however, said it recorded the impact of the Russian aerial attack in 4 locations and the fall of debris in 6 locations. Russia has been stepping up its long-range missile and drone attacks on Ukraine, which have further dashed hopes for a breakthrough in efforts to end the more than 3-year-old war. On Friday, U.S. President Donald Trump pledged continued support for Ukraine after speaking with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. His call came shortly after a call with Russian President Vladimir Putin offered no hope for his attempts to end the war.
Senior EU officials were in Moldova for a landmark bilateral summit to strengthen ties and reaffirm the bloc's commitment to the EU candidate country ahead of a pivotal parliamentary election. To support Moldova's EU integration and reform efforts, the bloc announced up to €1.9 billion in funding from 2025 to 2027. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa met with Moldovan President Maia Sandu during the summit. Von der Leyen and Costa reaffirmed EU support for Moldova's sovereignty amid Russia's full-scale invasion of neighbouring Ukraine. They condemned Russian interference and discussed measures to bolster Moldova's defence against foreign influence, disinformation and electoral manipulation.
Parisians on Saturday jumped into the River Seine legally for the first time in more than 100 years. It came as public swimming was allowed in designated areas of the Seine, including 2 newly built wooden decks near the Eiffel Tower and Ile Saint-Louis in central Paris. Before sunrise, a municipal officer skimmed away the last few patches of algae with a fishnet. Soon after, a line of eager Parisians formed, towels in hand, waiting for their chance to jump in. The return to swimming follows a €1.4 billion cleanup project tied to last year's Olympics. Officials, including the mayor of Paris, now say the Seine meets European water quality standards on most days. Swimming in the Seine had been illegal since 1923, with a few exceptions due to pollution and risk posed by river navigation. Taking a dip outside bathing areas is still banned for safety reasons.
Friends, family members, teammates and coaches of the late Portuguese football player Diogo Jota gathered in his hometown of Gondomar to pay their final respects. Jota, who played for English side Liverpool, died alongside his brother, also a footballer, in a car crash in Zamora, Spain, while on their way to catch a ferry to the United Kingdom. Spanish authorities say a tire in Jota's car blew out as he attempted to overtake a vehicle on the A52 highway. The Portuguese star's Liverpool teammates joined mourners in his hometown, located in the east of Porto, to attend the brother's funeral. Several of Jota's national side teammates, including Manchester City's Bernardo Silva and Ruben Dias, as well as Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes, also attended. National team coach Roberto Martinez, who led Portugal to their second UEFA Nations League title last month with a win over Spain, was also present. National team captain and football superstar Cristiano Ronaldo, however, was notably absent from the event after sharing an emotional tribute a few days ago on social media. British media outlets say Ronaldo opted to skip the funeral, citing concern his presence may distract from the somber proceedings.